When you wrote the song Big Cat Tattoos, how many songs did you already have? Did you write for the album?
Oh, now I don't know for sure, but I would say that Big Cat Tattoos was probably right in the middle. I would say I'd maybe had three or four, five songs by then. It was maybe song five.
Song five, okay. Uh, he suggested that maybe A Firmer Hand should be the title. Did
Yeah.
you have to revisit the four songs that you already wrote and maybe
No,
alter them a
no,
little bit? No? Okay, so
no, but I would say that already by the time he said that, already the album, if I'm honest, if I were being honest with myself, I would have maybe been able to see that the album would have to change its name. It's
I,
sort of because actually it was Machiavelli's Room was the second song written for the album. And by that point in time, that song is such a I don't know, it's the album in miniature, really. Machiavelli's Room is such a cornerstone of the record. Um, and it's odd because when I wrote it, I still consider it to be the album's sort of love song, which I'm not sure if it comes across as that. But yes, I think I just always err on the side of being prettier, and
yeah.
that's for all that's maybe a fault, but yes, as I say, I probably would have had to change the name anyway. But yes, Big Cat Tattoos was a really important song for the album because I've said before, every time I've written an album, there has been one song that sort of rears its head that has a huge amount of promise for the whole of the album, for the images that are going to make up the album, for the language that's going to get used, for the topics that are going to be discussed, for the themes that I'm going to dig deeper into. The entire adventure that is the album is often defined in part, in some small part, by one song. And for me, on A Firmer Hand, that song was Big Cat Tattoos.
Can you
Because yeah.
can you share a bit? What do you want to share about that song without
Well,
being too explicit? But
yeah, well, so you know, it's been said already that it's the album is clearly about, as I say, it's about my relationships with men,
Mhm.
be they friends, family, colleagues, partners, whatever. And not necessarily individual men, although it is about that. It's about manhood generally. And yeah, I suppose, yeah. So I would say at its heart, you could say the album deals. I've said before that it deals in masculine currency, and Big Cat Tattoos is essentially let's say it's the songwriter. It is Hamish Hawk, this person that is me, but it is this other version of
Mhm.
myself, this slightly heightened version. It's that songwriter reckoning with the specter of man, of who that is. And
Who is it?
um
Who is what are men for you?
yeah, well, and well, that's the thing. I would hate to simplify it, but that the song itself, it's sort of I want to give you a good answer, but I sort of I wish I knew. It's that song is inspired by, let's say it's inspired by one man I know, but it's also been inspired by sort of many of the men that I've ever met. And I used this blank canvas in the shape of a man just to throw all of these discontents. It's essentially it, I think it's obvious that Big Cat Tattoos is not a positive representation of men. It's and the phrase toxic masculinity gets used. Is a toxic representation of men, or a representation of toxic men in my mind, or at least the kind of man that I would not myself like to come across as. But because it is purely an invention as well, it you start throwing things at the canvas and you become the canvas. That's what's really happening. There's just as much a criticism of the external in that song as there is of the internal.
Yeah.
That was the only fair way to write it.